All right, hello and welcome once again to yet another edition of the Rare Groove Revolution podcast. I am your host, DJ Solero, aka Earl Holder, aka DJ Solero, and I'm here with my special guest, legendary drummer, Willie the Touch Hayes, Mr. Hayes, or the Touch, simply known as. Thank you so much for coming on the show and availing time out of your very busy schedule. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right, anytime, anytime. So for starters, what was your inspiration to become a drummer?
My inspiration was becoming a drummer was when I was a kid, and my mother used to take me to the Bud Billington parade, and I used to hear the drums and stuff, and I got into it, the bass drums, the snare drums, and then we had a three flat building over there on Spalding. And the school was like a half a block away from the house. We had a big backyard. We used to bring the marching band there in the backyard to practice. And I was 4 years old. And I'm sitting in my mama's lap and I'm listening to the bass drum, the snare drums, and all that. And then after that, I had a cousins. They had a singing group and a band. And so she's taking me up there, watch them sing and play and stuff. And I got into it. And from that point on, I made it my thing to play drums. And from that point, it took me on to getting Grammys and movies and everything. Coco Taylor was my first Grammy I got with her. I played with her when I was 14 years old. She came from Tennessee and shit. Her and Mighty Joe Young. I was a drummer. I was so young, I had to stay in a cooling section in the clubs and stuff, and I used to peep out and watch until they called me to play with them. And from that point on, it progressed. And Mandels had three records with the Mandels and Simtec and Wally Dixon, Southside Movement. I've been watching you and all that. Got a record with all them, and it just progressed. And I did stuff with movies with Keanu Reeves, Dennis Quaid, and Tom Hanks.
Really? Wow. And speaking of Simtec and Wylie, how did you initially hook up with them?
We hooked up with them because we was a Southside Movement at first. No, excuse me. It was them, but because of Ronald Simmons, the bass player, and we started playing together. And after that, we formed our own group called the Southside Movement. And after Southside Movement, that's when we got the gold records and stuff like that.
Okay, okay. And you played on the Simtec and Wylie. You played on Simtec and Wylie's one and only LP, the
Gotta
1971
get over
album,
the hump.
Getting Over the Hump. You played on that entire album.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite, one of my favorite, well, actually, my favorite song off that album, even though there are other songs that I definitely liked off that album, but my standout favorite was the song Bootlegging. What are
Yeah.
some of your memories recording that particular song?
Well, that song I didn't record that song bootleg it, no, because I was back and forth. They call me in and do stuff like that. Jimmy Van Leer, he was like a promoter and getting gigs and stuff like that from Chess Records and stuff. So he hired different cats to play different songs.
Oh, okay, I get you. I get you. I get you. And
So
then so
but not that particular song. So but majority of the songs, yes.
okay, okay. And this later on led to the first album by the Southside Movement, which was the
Southside Movement. I've been watching you.
back in
I've been
19
watching you, Mud Wind, and all that. Yes.
back in 1973. How do you feel about rappers sampling that particular song, I've Been Watching?
Uh, you know, uh, it's cool. They're learning. That's what we call a learning experience. If you don't know, you listen to stuff like I did. I listened to drummers, like I said, Joe Jones that would count Basie band. I was in Nice, France with him, and he was telling me, young man, two things you can do to drums. You can play them or you can beat them. And I like playing them. And that stuck in my head. I said, I know what you mean now. Because a lot of cats beat the shit out of drums. You got lead singers and stuff like that. You overpower the lead singer because they don't know. And you ever heard drummers, and people trying to sing, but the drummers are always loud. But you got to blend it down to make that's what called music. Make the music. You're making the music. You're not. And I tell drummers, I said, when you overplaying, people still talking in the audience. And when they're still talking, you ain't got them. But when you hit that groove and lock that groove in, and you see their head start moving, then you got them. I got them now because they're here. But if you're busy and stuff, they're still talking because you ain't doing shit. But when you start hitting that groove and shit, they like, oh yeah, I got them now. Shit, you look in the order, say yeah, they right with you, and that's true.
And you also played on the follow-up album. Well, you basically played on all three Southside Movement albums, right?
Yes.
Now, for the second album, Moving, that came out in 1974, I believe, one of the standout tracks off that album, in my opinion, was the song Save Their Soul.
Save Their Soul.
Yeah, Save Their Soul. Did you play drums on that?
I didn't play on Save the Soul. I played on the rest of them.
Oh, okay. What was your experience like?
I got it was, like with Van Leer to produce on that, I went on, I did some stuff with Jackie Wilson, after I left that, and just progressed it on.
How do you feel about rappers who sample that, who basically sample not only just Save Your Soul, but just basically, because you played on I've Been Watching You, right? So how do you feel about rappers who have sampled that particular song and have also included that song in films? How do you feel about that song being included in films and in rap?
I know, because it was what was that movie? Because they did it with Tupac Shakur.
Juice. Juice.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, they got that. Okay, yeah. But it's a learning experience. It's something they like and they can do it. If they keep doing it, they can progress. And being a better drummer and stuff like that. But like I said, they sample all kind of music and stuff because a lot of cats, like I said, like you beat them or you can play them. But if you hear something that you like and you understand where you're coming from and you're playing, because I used to go see cats, I just sit in the back. Because when I come in some club and stuff, we got Willie in the house, let him come up and play, And I got tired of that. Yeah, I got to come and play. I'm going to relax and enjoy myself, But, sometimes I'm just sitting in the back, man. I'm not here. Because they always call me up to play. But sometimes I feel like doing it, I play, like that, but it's you know it's something I can teach, you know, people that's playing, but you got some hard hitter cats think they know it all. They want to beat the drum. It's all about me. No, it's not all about you. You got people that's in front of you that's singing and playing. You got to keep that beat. You the timekeeper. You the metronome. That's how you get over it and shit. Like when you keep that beat and people but if you're busy like that, you're interfering with what they're trying to sing, And a lot of cats don't learn that until later on in life and stuff, oh, that's what it is. It ain't all about me. Bah, 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 bah. Damn that shit, You do a solo when they say give them a solo, and then you do what you gotta do. But after that, you're the band, you playing.
Now I stand corrected. Yeah. The actual song by the oh boy, by the Southside Movement, the actual song is actually called Save the World. Was that so you
Save the World?
Yeah. Yes. So did you play on that song or not?
I did say the world. I did. Yes.
Okay, okay. So now, okay, okay, because that was
Yes,
my
I
fault.
did. It's
I gave
coming
you the
back
wrong
from that
title.
shit. Damn, you can. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how do you feel about
I did so much shit, like
so how do you feel about Save the
it's
World being sampled?
I did a lot of shit. Huh?
So how do you feel about Save the World being sampled so much in rap music?
Let them go for it. I know what I did. And I did, I'm glad for them. They sample a lot of it, did a lot. And I'm grateful that they did that. And I was I was at Club Delisa on 55th and State. They had a stage that raised up out the floor. And Jackie Wilson, he was there. The drummer didn't show up. I was playing with Denise LaSalle and Jimmy Johnson. Bless his soul, he's dead now. But Jackie Wilson drummer didn't show up. And the guitar player, Larry and Blassingame, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We knew each other. We played. He said, Jackie's stuff? I said, yes. He said, drummer didn't show up. Can you do it? I said, yes. I did it, boy. And I played behind Jackie. He gave me extra $100. You nailed it. And me and Jackie was friends from that point on because he had Brunswick West. And now I played with his son, Bobby Wilson. I played with his son. He called me and so I played with Bobby Wilson. You play my dad? I said, yes. People, remember stuff, know what you do. And I was always in the band playing behind people.
How did you how did you come by the name The Touch? Like who named you The Touch? Or was that you name that you named?
Luther Allison.
Who?
Luther Allison.
Oh, okay. He
You
named you The
remember
Touch?
Luther Allison?
The name does
Huh?
sound familiar. The name sounds familiar.
Luther Allison, the blues guitar player, he was in Chicago and Wisconsin, and he went to France. He started playing in France, and he had if you look up for Luther Allison, you can see my name on a lot of his records and stuff, albums and stuff. Live in Chicago, Alligator Records and all that stuff. And I was playing, and I'm like a dynamic drummer. I can play dynamics, and I drop it down to a whisper. And when I drop it down to a whisper, it is what was that? Live and what? Live in Chicago with Luther Allison. And he said, "Damn, you got the touch," because I can break it down to a whisper and still had that intensity.
Okay.
And he's like, "God damn," he looked back at me and said, "You got the touch." And I bring it up, boy, and he tear that shit up. And he's like, "God damn." He said, "Yeah, you the touch." That's where it came from.
Just to backtrack a bit, what led to the
And so,
Southside Movement breaking up?
the Southside Movement broke up because we got a gold record in the Philippines in '75. We went to the Philippines. We played Manila and Dumaguete all over all over the Philippines. So we got a gold record for that. And Van Leer was he's dead now. He was the manager of the group and all that stuff. And he said he wrote it all. His name came up on all the records that we did, but we did all the records, but he got paid for it. We didn't get shit. And
Wow.
so, that what fucked me up. I said, hell no. And Maurice White from Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
Okay, me and him were friends. His brother, Freddie White, we was good friends. Burdine, we was all good friends and stuff. And Maurice said, if you got songs, get it copywritten